Hi everybody, I'm Jason Wilson and welcome to the War Room. This is a channel built for real estate agents. We build this so that you guys can build the business that you want and make the money that you need to make so that you can live the life you want to live. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between prospecting and marketing. Let's get into this. Okay, so welcome back. I do get to have a lot of conversations with new agents. New agents, depending on their personalities, are all over the map on how they wish to approach stuff. And this is not a cut on new agents. This is not to make them feel embarrassed, not to ask for things. But there's a difference between an analytical personality that requires more information. And if you're one of those people like I am, then you're going to want to be able to do some additional research and then find out what it is that you need to answer so that you can stop asking questions. Because the danger for you in an analytical position is you might find yourself, like I found myself at one point, being an ask hole. Now, what's an ask hole? A-S-K hole, meaning that I have so many questions that it's a bottomless hole. No matter how many questions I ask you, I have more questions. Right? And you don't want to find yourself in that position, but you also don't want to be shy to ask for the information that you need. Let's get into this and we'll talk about the difference between prospecting and marketing. The reason I bring this up is this is one of the questions that new agents ask me all the time. It seems repetitive, like it's never ending. Everybody wants the path of least resistance. If I could figure out a marketing campaign that would make my phone ring so that I had deals all the time, that would be ideal. I would love that too. The problem is that costs money. So how we're going to define this is prospecting is you reaching out to people to have conversations. Marketing is you putting out information that people want, which means you have to figure out what it is they want, give them the content, and then you have to put it in a place where they're going to see it, hear it, I'd say taste it, but that seems weird. And then they're going to call you. Right? And so one calls you, the other one you call them. Everybody would love, I'd love to get up in the morning and be like, I got 7 messages. Let me return the calls and take the orders. Well, that's great. And if you want to do that, you have to have money, right? So you're going to spend money, which means you're also going to set fire to some money, right? Because unless you know the perfect marketing message, you can go out and say, that's it, I'm doing a billboard. It's $3,000 a month. I know billboards work. Let me put it out there. Turns out it's in the wrong location or you put the wrong message on there. You have a full year contract. You've just wasted $36,000 and you found out billboards don't work. Well, maybe you're convinced they do work. Now you got to go do a different billboard with a different message. And then all of a sudden you get some business out of that, right? So there's this ebb and flow to marketing of what works and what doesn't, and consumer behavior changes. So you have to be able to pump money at that to be able to get it to come in. If you're not willing to do that, the easiest, fastest way is prospecting. Now, prospecting can take on many forms. So now that we've made and established the clear difference between them, let's talk about what prospecting can be. Because many of you see like a boiler room and ring, ring, ring. Hello, do you want to buy or sell real estate? Click. Hello, do you want to buy or sell real estate? Click. And you go through that, and it can be, but it's in categories. So you have to go after the piece of business that you are willing to go after. So for example, if for sale by owners and expireds who have raised their hands saying, I'm selling or I was thinking about selling and I've either changed my mind, expireds, it failed to sell, and calling and having a conversation, are you still selling? Are you interviewing agents for the job of selling your house? What happened with your last agent? If you're thinking about hiring that agent, tell me what they're going to do differently to sell your house this time that they didn't sell it in the last 6 months it was on the market. These are conversations. If you're a FSBO, how long are you going to try to do the job of selling your house before you interview agents? Or you're going to have to ask these questions. It's a very linear conversation. It does have a lot of rejection in it, but the more of it you do, you end up with appointments, people end up hiring you, and then you get business that way. If that drives you nuts or it makes you want to puke, you might go down the road of networking. Now, the problem with networking is the same issue we run into with marketing, right? Is you do proximity networking. You put on a name tag. I don't have one, but let's pretend I have a name tag. And then you stand really close to somebody. You're like, it's like looking at them going, huh? See a name tag? See it? Uh-huh. You're like, it didn't result in any business. Well, it wouldn't because you can't just put on a small billboard on your shirt, walk into a room where there's a bunch of people and get a deal. So what you have to do is work to be able to bring value to people to be able to get that deal. So open networking is going to require consistency. You're going to have to show up. You're going to have to get into conversations that create conversational reciprocity so that you can get a deal. So that's going to be different. So networking is one, and that can be open networking or closed networking. Closed networking is one seat per industry. The goal there is to get referrals for each other at the table, which means you spend your time communicating what you're looking for and hoping they have people that they'll bring to you. You have to build credibility so the people at the table want to give you business, and all of that happens. At an open networking group, you're probably there with 4 other real estate agents, and the one who's most memorable and can bring the most value to the other people there over time may get business. So that's one avenue. Events and sphere of influence. So this would be a group of people that isn't necessarily networking, but they're people who know you, like you, and trust you. And when you reach out to them and talk about what your business is and what you're doing, and find out if they are willing to refer you, and I'm going to refer you to the Am I the Chosen One script. If you haven't seen that, please look in the description below, and we'll post a link to the video I shot teaching that script. That script comes from The 7 Levels of Communication by Michael J. Mayer. It's the most effective script because it really gives people permission to say, no, I have somebody else that I refer business to, so you can stop wasting your time on people who are not going to use you. Those things are all very frustrating. So that being said, we've now covered sphere of influence, which you can do events, right? Events you're going to invite your sphere of influence with. They do cost money, but you've got one-on-ones and events. You've got networking, which is, meeting new people and working to create referral opportunities there. And then you've got FSBOs and expireds. The last category would be open houses and circle prospecting. Open houses because unrepresented people will come through an open house, which means they're obviously looking to buy a house or at least curious about houses. So there's an opportunity for you. And then the circle prospecting is the inviting the neighbors around the open house. I can't tell you how many times door knocking, which is one of the methods of circle prospecting, where somebody was out door knocking. In fact, an agent that was with me, she was pregnant at the time, and it was like 100 degrees outside. As a result of that door knocking, we're able to do a listing appointment because they were like, if you're willing to be out here and hustle to invite people to the open house on the neighbor's house that's listed in the area, it's worth us to talk to you to talk about listing your property. And so those are the kind of relationships that really can produce, just because you're out there meeting new people who don't know you, but you've done something so extraordinary that they'll now create a relationship with you and actually do business with you. So those are the main categories. Remember, my marketing categories we'll briefly discuss. That will be what you do on social media. So that's going to be stories, reels, posts, short form and long form video content is all marketing. Billboards, print ads, postcards, things like that go out. You can get into commercials. Stuff gets as crazy as grocery carts and bus benches. That's all going to be about the brand image that you're looking for. And then you've got signs. When you have listings, your sign traffic, when they drive by and recognize your sign, and lead capture forms from those things. So remember, start to build a business on a prospecting-based business. Doesn't have to be all cold calls, but I've given you options on what you can do. And if you're going to go down the other road where you want it to be marketing, get with a marketing expert, especially a digital marketing expert, so you don't waste tens of thousands of dollars to get no deals and then hope it turns into something. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you again, and I'm Jason Wilson, and this is The War Room.